Words are not ordinary. They are not empty sounds that pass from our lips and vanish into thin air. Words are forces, powerful, living forces, that shape the very fabric of our reality. Every culture, every spiritual tradition, and every wise teacher throughout history has recognized this truth in one way or another. Words carry creative power. They can build or they can destroy. They can heal or they can wound. They can open doors or they can close them forever. And when it comes to wealth, prosperity, and abundance, words hold the master key. Think about it. Before anything great has ever been achieved in the world, it was first spoken. Great leaders have used words to rally nations, inspire revolutions, and create new futures. Visionaries and entrepreneurs used words to declare possibilities long before others could see them. A man may not yet have the resources in his hand, but when he says with conviction, "I will build this company, I will create this future, I will command success," he sets in motion unseen forces that bring that declaration to life. This is the creative power of words. Your life right now is, in many ways, a reflection of the words you have spoken over yourself in the past. If you constantly say, "I am broke, I am unlucky, nothing works out for me," then those words create barriers around your destiny. But when you boldly affirm, "I am blessed, I am capable, wealth and opportunities flow toward me," you open doors for the impossible to become possible. Words plant pictures in the mind, and those pictures direct your actions, your energy, and your results. Science has even confirmed what ancient wisdom has always taught: words influence the brain. When you speak positive, confident words, your brain releases chemicals that increase focus, energy, and creativity. When you speak negative, fearful words, your brain responds with stress, shutting down vision and courage. In other words, your words are programming your mind, and your mind is the engine driving your future. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people starting the same journey toward financial freedom. One constantly says, "It's too hard, I'll never succeed, the system is against me." The other declares, "I will find a way, opportunities are everywhere, and success belongs to me." Both face the same challenges, but their words determine their attitude, their persistence, and their willingness to see possibilities. Guess who ends up with wealth? Not the one who surrenders with words of defeat, but the one who commands the future with words of faith. Words are like commands sent to the universe. When you say, "I am worthy of abundance," you are not simply talking to yourself. You are aligning your life with the law of faith and attraction. Wealth, opportunities, and open doors respond to the vibration of your words. That is why careless speech is dangerous. Some people destroy their own wealth with their tongue, not even realizing it. They cancel blessings by constantly speaking lack, fear, and limitation. But the good news is this: you can change your future by changing your words today. The creative power of words is available to anyone who chooses to use it. You do not need to be rich already. You do not need to have all the resources in place. You only need to begin declaring what you desire with faith and conviction. Say it until you believe it. Believe it until you see it. And once you see it, your life will never be the same. Let this truth sink deeply into your heart. Words are not just sounds. Words are spiritual forces. They are invisible builders, shaping tomorrow's reality out of today's declarations. If you want wealth, speak wealth. If you want opportunities, speak opportunities. If you want freedom, speak freedom. Stop repeating words of fear and limitation, and begin declaring words of power and abundance. The creative power of words is one of the greatest gifts we have been given. Every time you open your mouth, you are either commanding your wealth or commanding your poverty. You are either speaking life into your dreams or death into your future. Choose wisely. Let your words carry the sound of victory, prosperity, and abundance. Because once you harness the power of your words, you will discover that wealth is not just something you chase, it is something you command. Every word you speak is a seed. Just like a farmer plants seeds in the soil and waits for them to grow, every word you release into the atmosphere is planted in the garden of your future. Seeds may look small and insignificant when they first leave your hand, but hidden within them is the potential for an entire harvest. The same is true of your words. Each one carries the power to create wealth, opportunity, and abundance, or to create struggle, lack, and limitation. When a farmer wants apples, he does not plant thorns. When he wants wheat, he does not plant weeds. He plants deliberately, with vision, because he knows the harvest will always reflect the seed. In the same way, if you desire a harvest of wealth, you cannot afford to sow words of poverty. If you constantly say, "I can't afford it," "I'll never be successful," "Money never stays with me," then you are sowing seeds of lack. And just like weeds in a field, those words grow up to choke out the blessings that were meant for you. But when you speak with faith, "I am destined for prosperity, wealth flows into my life, I am open to opportunities, I live in abundance," you are planting good seeds. Over time, those seeds take root in your subconscious mind, in your environment, and even in the hearts of people around you. They create invisible pathways that bring opportunities, favor, and resources into your life. It may not happen overnight, but just as a seed in the ground eventually pushes through the soil toward the sunlight, so your words will eventually manifest as visible results. One of the greatest truths about seeds is this: they multiply. A single seed of corn can produce a stalk with hundreds of kernels. Likewise, one declaration of faith can multiply into countless blessings. When you boldly affirm wealth, you not only shift your own mindset, you also inspire others, attract partnerships, and awaken possibilities you never imagined. Words carry an energy that spreads outward, multiplying far beyond the moment they are spoken. However, many people sabotage themselves because they are careless with their words. They plant seeds of abundance one day, then dig them up the next with words of doubt and fear. It's like a farmer who plants wheat, but keeps pulling it out every morning to see if it's growing. No harvest can come that way. You must be consistent. You must guard your tongue as carefully as a farmer guards his field. Keep sowing positive words. Keep watering them with gratitude and faith. And trust the process, for the harvest is certain. Think of the most successful people you know. Listen carefully to the words they use. Rarely will you hear them say, "I can't," or "It's impossible." Instead, they speak possibility, vision, and expectation. They plant seeds of success with every conversation, and their lives eventually mirror their declarations. Wealth is not an accident. It is the fruit of intentional sowing. Now, here's an important principle. Seeds need the right environment to grow. If you plant good words, but surround yourself with negative people who constantly speak defeat, it will be like planting seeds in poisoned soil. Protect your environment. Speak your words of wealth, and surround yourself with those who also believe in abundance. Let your atmosphere be filled with faith, gratitude, and expectation. The richer the soil, the greater the harvest. Another truth about seeds is patience. No farmer plants today and harvests tomorrow. He plants in faith, waters daily, and trusts in the unseen process happening underground. Your words work the same way. Do not grow discouraged if results don't appear immediately. Trust that the seeds you've sown are already working for you. Stay consistent, and in due season, you will reap the harvest. Your wealth is not waiting to come from outside. It is waiting to spring up from the seeds you sow with your mouth. Each day, ask yourself, what am I planting? Am I planting words of lack, fear, and struggle? Or am I planting words of prosperity, opportunity, and abundance? Your future harvest depends entirely on the seeds you choose today. So, guard your words. Plant with intention. Sow boldly and consistently. And never forget, the harvest always matches the seed. If you want wealth, plant words of wealth. If you want freedom, plant words of freedom. If you want abundance, plant words of abundance. Every word is a seed, and every seed has a harvest. Plant wisely, and your life will overflow with wealth in its season. Wealth begins in the mind, before it ever appears in the bank account. If your mind is trained to think in terms of limitation, you will always live in limitation. If your mind is trained to think in terms of abundance, you will attract abundance. And the single most powerful tool to reprogram the mind is words. Your mind is like a garden. Over the years, it has been filled with seeds, some planted by your family, some by your teachers, some by society, and some by your own self-talk. Unfortunately, many of those seeds are weeds. Beliefs such as, money is evil, I'll never get ahead, or people like me can't be wealthy. These thoughts take root deep in the subconscious mind and silently control decisions, behaviors, and expectations. That's why some people work hard all their lives, yet never escape financial struggle. They are operating under programs of lack written into their subconscious. The good news is this: just as a computer program can be rewritten, so can the mind. And words are the code. Every time you speak affirmations of wealth, confidence, and abundance, you are rewriting your subconscious programming. You are telling your inner system, this is my new reality. This is who I am now. Think about how powerful repetition is. If someone tells a child, you are worthless, long enough, that child will grow up believing it, even if it's not true. On the other hand, if a child hears, you are gifted, you are capable, you will do great things, they begin to embody that truth. The mind doesn't argue with repeated words, it absorbs them. That's why your words are so vital in reprogramming your life for wealth. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is like fresh soil, ready to receive. If the first words you say are, today is full of opportunities, wealth flows to me, I am favored and blessed, you plant seeds of success into your subconscious. But if your first words are, another hard day, I'm broke, I'll never get ahead, you reinforce old, limiting programs. The mind records it all, without bias, and plays it back into your reality. One of the most effective practices for reprogramming the mind is daily affirmations. Speak them aloud, with conviction, as though they are already true. Say, I am worthy of wealth. Money comes to me easily, and in expected and unexpected ways. I attract opportunities that multiply my resources. I live in abundance, and I walk in financial freedom. At first, your conscious mind may resist. It may whisper, that's not true, look at your bank account. But don't stop. Keep speaking. With repetition, the subconscious mind begins to accept these words as reality. And once your subconscious accepts a belief, your actions, decisions, and habits automatically align with it. Here's why this works: your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. It accepts whatever you feed it, especially when words are spoken with emotion and repetition. That's why athletes visualize and repeat affirmations before big games. It programs their minds for victory. You can do the same for wealth. See yourself wealthy. Speak as though you are wealthy, and soon you will act and think like a wealthy person. This process is not magic. It's alignment. When your words reprogram your mind for abundance, you begin to notice opportunities that were invisible before. You feel more confident to take risks, more disciplined in managing resources, and more creative in solving problems. The wealth was always around you. Your new programming allows you to see and seize it. But be warned, just as positive words reprogram your mind for success, negative words reinforce poverty programming. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," or "I'll always be broke," you are carving those beliefs deeper into your subconscious. To truly reprogram your mind, you must discipline your tongue. Cancel every negative word and replace it immediately with a positive declaration. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say, "How can I afford it? Opportunities are coming to me." Consistency is the key. You don't transform your subconscious with 1 or 2 affirmations. You do it through daily, relentless repetition. Just as years of negative words trained your mind for lack, daily positive words will retrain it for wealth. Speak until it feels natural, until it feels real, until your subconscious believes it fully. Remember this: your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. If you want to change the harvest of your life, you must change the seeds in your mind. And the way you change those seeds is through words. Spoken, repeated, and believed. So today, make a decision to reprogram your mind. Break the old patterns of lack and limitation with a new vocabulary of wealth and abundance. Speak boldly. Speak daily. Speak until your subconscious accepts nothing less than prosperity. Because once your mind is reprogrammed with the right words, wealth will no longer be something you chase. It will be something you naturally attract. Words are powerful, but they are not meant to stand alone. They are the spark, but action is the fire. Words declare the vision, but action builds it. Words open the door, but action walks through it. If you truly want to command wealth, you must learn to align your words with your actions. Many people misunderstand the power of words. They think that speaking positive affirmations is enough to change their financial destiny. While it is true that words create energy, direction, and belief, they must be paired with action for results to manifest. Without action, words are like seeds left in a packet, full of potential, but never producing a harvest. Imagine a farmer who stands in his field every morning declaring, "This land is fertile. This field will produce a great harvest." Yet he never plants a single seed, never waters the soil, and never tends to the ground. His words are powerful, but without corresponding action, they will never manifest into a harvest. The same principle applies to wealth. Your affirmations of prosperity must be backed by daily steps that align with those declarations. When you say, "I am wealthy," "I am open to opportunities," abundance flows to me. Your mind begins to look for ways to prove those words true. Suddenly, you notice an opportunity to learn a new skill, to start a business, to invest wisely, or to connect with someone influential. But here's the key: you must act on those opportunities. Words prepare the soil, but actions plant the seed. This is where many people fail. They speak words of abundance but live actions of fear. They declare wealth but refuse to take risks. They affirm prosperity but continue to waste money, ignore opportunities, or live without discipline. This creates a contradiction between their words and their behavior, and the contradiction cancels out their results. Alignment means your actions reflect your declarations. If you affirm, "I am financially free," then act like someone who values freedom. Budget wisely, avoid unnecessary debt, and manage resources with wisdom. If you affirm, "I attract opportunities," then act boldly. Network, learn, and position yourself to seize those opportunities. If you affirm, "I am a wealth builder," then take consistent steps to save, invest, and multiply what you have. Words point the direction, but action is the movement that takes you there. It is also important to understand that action doesn't always mean big leaps. Sometimes, it's the small, consistent steps that bring the greatest transformation. A simple daily discipline, reading, saving a little, networking with the right people, when combined with powerful words, creates unstoppable momentum. Words energize your spirit, and actions build your future. Think of the great inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders who changed the world. They didn't only speak powerful words, they acted. They spoke their vision and then aligned every effort, every decision, and every move with those words. Their words became the fuel, and their actions became the vehicle. That is the formula for commanding wealth. Here's another truth: aligned action builds credibility with your own mind. When you speak affirmations but never act, your subconscious stops believing you. But when you declare, "I am disciplined with money," and then you actually stick to a budget, your subconscious says, "Yes, that's true." This strengthens your belief, which strengthens your words, which strengthens your results. Alignment creates a cycle of power. On the other hand, misaligned living creates confusion and failure. Saying one thing and doing another is like trying to row a boat with one oar. You spin in circles, but never reach your destination. To break free, you must discipline yourself to act in harmony with what you speak. Let your behavior echo your declarations. So how can you start? Begin with this simple formula: speak, believe, act. Speak the words of wealth every day. Believe those words until they become part of your inner identity. Act in alignment with those words through wise choices, disciplined habits, and bold steps toward opportunity. Over time, your actions will become second nature, guided by the declarations you have spoken. And as words and actions merge into one, your life will transform. Wealth is not commanded by words alone, nor by action alone. It is commanded when the two become one, when the voice of faith is matched with the hand of diligence. Never forget, words are the compass. Action is the journey. Words show you the mountain, action climbs it. Words declare the harvest, action gathers it. Words light the fire, action keeps it burning. Align your words with your actions, and you will not only speak wealth into existence. You will live it, walk in it, and multiply it. Wealth is not only about money. True wealth is a mindset, a way of living, a state of consciousness. You may have money today and lose it tomorrow, but if you have a wealth consciousness, you will attract prosperity again and again. Wealth consciousness is the ability to live every day with an awareness of abundance, gratitude, and possibility. It is living in the vibration of success even before the results appear. Think of wealth consciousness as the atmosphere you carry around you. Just as the air you breathe sustains your life, wealth consciousness sustains your prosperity. It is not limited to financial riches. It includes health, peace of mind, meaningful relationships, and a sense of purpose. When you live with wealth consciousness, you stop chasing riches and instead attract them naturally, because your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned with abundance. How do you live in wealth consciousness? It begins with awareness. You must be intentional about the words you speak, the thoughts you entertain, and the energy you release. Every day, you are either reinforcing poverty consciousness or strengthening wealth consciousness. Poverty consciousness focuses on fear, lack, and limitation. There's never enough. Life is unfair. Money is hard to get. But wealth consciousness says, there is always enough. Life is full of opportunities. Money flows to me with ease. Wealth consciousness also shows up in gratitude. When you are grateful, you acknowledge the abundance already present in your life, no matter how small. Gratitude is like a magnet that pulls more blessings into your experience. A person with poverty consciousness looks at their paycheck and says, "This is not enough." But a person with wealth consciousness says, "I am grateful for this income, and it will multiply." One mindset blocks the flow of prosperity. The other attracts it. Another key to wealth consciousness is generosity. Many believe they must hold tightly to every coin in fear of losing it, but this is poverty thinking. Wealth-conscious people understand that money is energy. It flows. When you give freely and wisely, you create a cycle of circulation, and what you release comes back multiplied. Generosity is proof that you trust abundance, and that trust positions you to receive more. Wealth consciousness also requires guarding your environment. Surround yourself with people, books, and experiences that reinforce abundance. Negative voices, constant complaints, and environments filled with fear will drag your consciousness down. Just as a plant cannot grow in poisoned soil, wealth cannot flourish in a poisoned atmosphere. Protect your mind and spirit. Feed yourself daily with affirmations, success stories, and teachings that remind you of your divine right to prosper. Living in wealth consciousness also means raising your standards. If you believe you are wealthy, you will not settle for mediocrity. You will not waste your time, your energy, or your resources. You will treat yourself with respect, pursue excellence, and carry yourself with dignity. The way you dress, the way you speak, the way you make decisions, everything will reflect your wealth mindset. And as you raise your standards, life rises to meet them. Here's something powerful: wealth consciousness makes you resilient. Without it, a financial setback can destroy you. With it, setbacks are only temporary detours. You may lose money, but you never lose your wealth mindset, and that mindset will rebuild prosperity again and again. That is why some people bounce back from failure stronger than before. It is because they carry wealth consciousness within them. To live in wealth consciousness daily, develop rituals that keep your spirit aligned with abundance. Begin each morning with affirmations of prosperity. Visualize yourself living in financial freedom, not in the distant future, but now. Practice gratitude for every blessing, big or small, and speak wealth into every area of your life: your health, your family, your business, your future. Over time, this becomes not just something you do, but something you are. Never forget, money alone does not make you wealthy. Without wealth consciousness, even a rich person can live in fear, greed, and emptiness. But with wealth consciousness, even when money is not yet visible, you live in peace, joy, and expectation. And that expectation is what draws prosperity into your life. So decide today, you are not just going to use words to command wealth. You are going to live in wealth consciousness. Let it shape your thoughts, your choices, your relationships, and your daily habits. Let it become the atmosphere around you, the energy within you, and the vision before you. For when you live in wealth consciousness, wealth ceases to be something you chase. It becomes something you naturally attract and sustain. We have journeyed through the truth that words hold unimaginable power. They are not empty sounds, but creative forces that shape the very reality we live in. We began by understanding the creative power of words. That everything we experience first takes form through the words we speak. If words can move nations, shift generations, and build empires, then surely they can create wealth in your life. Then we discovered that words are seeds. Every declaration you make is a seed planted in the soil of your future. You cannot expect a harvest of abundance if you are constantly planting words of lack. What you say today determines what you will reap tomorrow. Words of faith produce prosperity, while words of doubt produce poverty. We also learned that words are not just external, they reprogram the mind. The subconscious, like a computer, accepts what you feed it. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are destined for wealth, your inner system begins to align with that truth. Your beliefs shift, your habits shift, and eventually, your results shift. Through consistent affirmations and declarations, you can reprogram your mind for wealth and break free from the limitations of the past. But words alone are not enough. Words must align with action. Affirmations without discipline, declarations without effort, and vision without movement are empty. When your actions mirror your words, you create unstoppable momentum. Words light the fire, but action keeps it burning. This alignment is the bridge between speaking wealth and living wealth. Finally, we arrived at the highest level, living in wealth consciousness. This is more than having money. It is about embodying abundance in every area of life. It is about gratitude, generosity, high standards, and a resilient mindset. Wealth consciousness is not what you do occasionally, but who you are daily. It is the inner atmosphere that attracts prosperity again and again. Now, my friend, the choice is yours. You can continue to speak carelessly, planting seeds of poverty, reinforcing limiting beliefs, and living out of alignment. Or you can step into your divine authority to command wealth with your words. You can speak with intention, plant seeds of abundance, reprogram your mind, act in harmony with your declarations, and live every day in wealth consciousness. Remember, this money may come and go, opportunities may rise and fall. But as long as you guard the words of your mouth, you will never lose the ability to create wealth. Wealth is not outside of you. It begins with the power of your words. So today, speak boldly. Declare abundance with conviction. Live in the vibration of wealth. Align your actions with your affirmations. And walk with the unshakable confidence that your words are not empty. They are commands to the universe. Because the truth is simple yet profound. When your words and your life are aligned with abundance, wealth is not something you chase. It is something you command.